Hey everybody, welcome back to 2-Min Maths. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the fundamental trig identities that we use in order to evaluate and simplify and work with trig functions. Now this is part one. There's going to be two parts, so there's a lot of identities, so make sure you have a piece of paper or something to write down with so you can use it when evaluating and simplifying trig functions. Well, an identity is an equation that is true for all values of the variable. We're going to be looking at reciprocal, quotient, Pythagorean, cofunction, and even odd identities. First, let's look at the reciprocal identities. First, we have sine of theta equals 1 over cosecant of theta. Then we have cosine of theta equals 1 over secant of theta, and tangent theta equals 1 over cotangent of theta. And these are reciprocals of each other, so the same thing goes for cosecant of theta, which is equal to 1 over sine theta. And we have the following two, which you can just read from the screen. As you can see, sine theta is a reciprocal of cosecant theta, cosine of theta is a reciprocal of secant theta, and tangent theta is a reciprocal of cotangent theta. Now we're going to be looking at quotient identities, which is the fact that tangent of theta equals sine theta over cosine theta, and cotangent theta is just a reciprocal of that. And last but not least, we have the Pythagorean identities, which are pretty simple. It's just sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. And then the second and third one is 1 plus cotangent squared theta equals cosecant squared theta, and 1 plus tangent squared theta equals secant squared theta. Well, you might be confused as to how we got the other two. You can take a pause and try to figure out what it is, but it's actually pretty simple. For example, to get the second Pythagorean identity, all we do is divide the entire equation by sine squared theta. So for example, sine squared theta divided by sine squared theta is 1. Cosine squared theta divided by sine squared theta is cotangent squared theta. And 1 over sine squared theta is cosecant squared theta. And the same rule kind of applies for the third one, except that we're dividing the initial first equation by cosine squared theta. Now all these identities are really helpful in simplifying and evaluating trig functions or trig expressions or trig equations. Now, there's also different ways of rewriting it, especially for the Pythagorean identities. You might see the equations shuffled around, so be sure to have these memorized or set somewhere so you can use them in those types of situations. Thank you.